Hey, what's up everybody? So today I was having a hard time figuring out what I wanted to talk about for the vlog, and I went back to an old Facebook post where everybody was talking about things they wanted to hear about on the podcast, and I saw a post by somebody saying they wanted us to talk about like how much is too much, like when do we go too far in regards to our bodies and our minds. And the bodies part I feel like is self-explanatory. You scrape a knee, you bang yourself up, it's whatever. You break your hand hitting a post with another post, or I don't fucking know, hitting a hit plate with a hammer, and that's maybe a little too far. Maybe you're being too aggressive. The mind part struck me is how hard the creative process is. And I struggled with that a little bit today. I had a few different topics I wanted to talk about, and none of them really felt right coming out. So I decided to settle on this one, and how being true to yourself can help you kind of create a character that you enjoy and help the creative process flow, and also help in situations where you have like heckling customers and shitty people coming through the haunted house, which is also a big topic that everybody's wanted to talk about. So one thing, I've been performing in some capacity, whether it was in theater, playing music, or doing the haunted house stuff since I was like 12. So that's like 20 years of performing in front of people. And the one thing that separates being in a haunted house from, say, playing music or doing live theater is that it's completely immersive. You're in that moment with your customers, regardless of whether they're paying attention to your act, they care about your act, they're super into it, they're actually scared. All those things affect the performance. So if you try and ignore the customer and pretend they don't exist, things just aren't going to work out for you. You have to acknowledge they're present in some capacity. And the standard haunted house things like yelling, "Get out," or "Why are you here?" are just dumb. Why would you tell them to get out? They paid money to come. Also, why would you ask them why they're there? They paid money to come. Trying to bring them into that performance, whether it's to actually just scare them and make them run away, or whether you're in a speaking role and you pop out and they heckle you, you need to heckle back. You need to engage the customer and not get butthurt. The reason that those people heckle isn't to be an asshole. Well, I mean, some of them it's probably to be an asshole. The majority of them have that little inkling that we have and that desire to perform. The only difference is they don't have an outlet. So you can make their day and make a strong connection with them just by performing with them. Bring them into the experience. Joke with them. Be the butt of their joke. Make it funnier. Take it that extra step. That's the thing you need to be doing. Where you're going too far is when you're taking yourself too seriously. That's where you're breaking things up. Don't take it that far. One of the things I was thinking about that I kept coming back to on this topic was that episode of The Office where they go to see Andy's play and the phone rings. The other actor's like, "What is that, a bird?" We're not that. This isn't something you need to stare straight in the eyes and not break the fourth wall. There's a fourth wall that we break every time we perform. That's part of our job, is to break that wall and engage the patron and the guest. Make sure you're doing that. And some of that starts with developing a character. And one thing that I see that people don't ever do is they think about what they want to be and not what they are. And that's a hard thing to reckon with, because sometimes what you are isn't what you really want to be. But once you've toned that down and find out where your piece of the puzzle fits the overall haunted house, that's where things are going to start to make more sense. I tried for years and years to just be a pop out scary character, and it just didn't work. I decided that maybe I'm not a scary character. Maybe I'd be better off being a goofy character or a funny character. And so sometimes I am scary. By nature, my character looks by all means like a serial killer. That's the point. We're a haunted house. We're supposed to have that spooky aesthetic. Take that. But then how you act and how you play off of other people is 90% of the job. So I'm not always trying to scare people. If somebody acts scared of me, then I scare them because that's my job. They came to a haunted house to be scared. So I scare them. That does two things. One, it gets them what they paid for. Two, it entertains the rest of their group who are usually laughing and prodding them back into my general direction. The majority of people aren't afraid of me, and that's okay. I build goofy-ass characters. You saw Arnie just a second ago when I was talking about trying to be scary. Think about what his nose looks like.
I have a what on my nose? Oh.
He was designed to be goofy as fuck. And that's how I play him. I hop out there, I make jokes with customers, and I engage by being the butt of the joke.
Did somebody say joke? I'll tell you a joke. God.
Or sometimes by upstaging them where they least expect it. So those are the things that you want to do. Find a character that's close to yourself and something that you think you can be. I'm 5'4". I couldn't go be a character like Jason or Mike Myers. I'm not big enough. I can't be that slow, scary type. So I'm not going to try. I'm going to be generally scary, but I'm going to act funny and entertain customers and be in that scene. Now, I understand that a lot of you aren't always going to be put in a position where you can do that or where your director's going to want you to do that. And that's fine. Maybe talk to them. Engage with them in a conversation where you say, hey, I'm not really feeling this. This isn't what I'm equipped to do. It's not good for the show. It's not good for me. Can we be moved? And if they're not willing to work with you, maybe go find someplace else that is willing to work with you. Because when you're taking things so serious that you're not having fun anymore and you're letting customers ruin the game for you, that's where things get whack. And that's where we take things too far. So remember, it's fun. It doesn't always have to be super serious and super intense. Entertain the customer and you'll entertain yourself. So yeah, thanks for listening, guys. See you next week on the podcast.
How do you guys do that?
Keep an eye out for episodes of Code Yellow, a Scare Actors podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcast. You can check the description below for links, and don't forget to like and subscribe below. Until then, keep calm and scare on.